Hello and welcome to the first LA1 show of the year. I'm Kat.
And I'm Emily Jane. And welcome to our rather impromptu studio today. Apologies for the lack of decor. We had a minor flooding issue, but it's fine. We're gonna make it do here. But today on the show, we're going to be discussing student housing.
We'll see what you guys have to say about the recent debate about the Sugar House price increases.
We're going to be having a look at the Scouting and Guiding Society in our Spotlight on Society features.
We'll be joined by Katie, who's going to review the film Elysium for us.
And finally, we're going to take a look at what happened in Alex Square on Remembrance Day.
But first, it's getting to that time of year when people are starting to decide on their housing for next year. So we're joined by Tom Fox, who is our VP Welfare and Community, to ask him a bit about what we should do when deciding a house for next year.
Thanks so much for joining us, Tom. We're going to be having a chat to Tom in a sec. But first, for those who are thinking of living in town next year, Sarah is going to take us on a tour around her Lucy Living property, just to give us an idea of what kind of houses and properties are on the market for next year.
So the housing talks are over and it's time for you to start looking for your new property. Here's a guide to what Lancaster has to offer.
This is 80 Greaves Road. It's a 3-bedroom semi-detached property and it's a 5-minute walk into town.
So this is the living room and it's humongous, so it's fantastic for socialising. It also doubles up as a dining room, so you can eat all your meals in here. And the house also comes with a TV licence. The decor is a little bit outdated, but it has its charming characteristics. So this is the kitchen, and it's lovely and nice and refurbished. It is a little bit on the small side, but you do have to remember that there is only 3 of you living here. It comes with a brand new cooker and a fantastic washing machine, so you don't have to travel to wash your clothes.
There is 1 bathroom in this house, but the toilet is separated from it, and the shower is completely new. The fantastic thing about this house is that you will not be fighting over the bedrooms, because there are no small rooms in this house. Each bedroom comes with a double bed and plenty of storage space. It's situated on the 3 bus route, and it's quite handy that the bus stop is literally right across from your house, so if you need to get into uni quickly, you will have no problem. The property is £88 a week.
Thanks ever so much for joining us, Tom.
That's fine.
So, first of all, can you give the people who've never lived in town before a few tips on how to find a good house?
I think one of the first things to do is not to panic. I think a lot of people are pressuring you to sign a contract or to look at houses pretty much as soon as you get to university. And I think there's nothing wrong with taking a little while to think about who you're going to live with, where you're going to live, look at your budget, how much you can spend and how long the contracts you're going to sign are going to last. And I think one of the most important things is just to realise that once you sign a contract, you've signed a contract. It's a legally binding document and it's really hard to get out of, so don't make that decision easily. Really put some thought into it.
Cool, well thanks for that. And also for, obviously a lot of people have never looked for a house before, what are the first crucial steps that they need to take?
I think there's plenty of options out there of houses, and there's plenty of different letting agencies in Lancaster, and of course there's Lucy Living. And I think the first thing to do really is to think about who you're going to live with. Like I mentioned before, how much money you can spend on it, and just looking into the different houses that are around in Lancaster and what kind of location you're looking for. I think there's definitely a lot of different ranges of accommodation. So if you're on a budget, there is definitely houses out there which are decent quality and you can still get for a good price range. But if you're looking for something more, there's also that. But I think Lancaster's quite good. It's got a good range of accommodation outside of campus.
Yeah, so what is it that Lucy Living can do for the students?
I think the benefit of Lucy Living is obviously it's a student union run company, so we're always trying to make sure that it does the best it can do for students. For example, you don't have to pay a deposit, which most letting agencies do, and we try and make sure that anything that's wrong is dealt with within the day. And obviously sometimes that doesn't work out, and we're trying to improve that and make sure that kind of feedback is dealt with in a quicker manner. But I think the thing with Lucy Living is that you've got the union to be accountable to that, and we're always trying to make sure that we're listening to students and improving that. And this year especially, we've got a different range of accommodation that we've got bronze, silver and gold awards. So if you're looking for a budget which is still of a good standard, then you've got the bronze award, and if you're looking for something which is a little bit more expensive maybe but of a little better quality, then you've got silver and gold. So if you know what you're looking for but are in a current price range, then that's easily set out for you. No, so it's a little bit easier for students to navigate.
Yeah, was that introduced this year?
That was introduced just literally a month ago. So any students looking into it, just keep an eye out for that.
What would you say for students where they are unsure about living on campus or off campus? What would you say to them?
I think one of the main things with living on campus and off campus is that there's that added security by living on campus. You've got porters, the security going around campus, and a little bit more feeling safe.
Yeah.
But I think the big difference between off campus and on campus is the price range, and it's quite a big one as well. You're looking at around the difference of about £30 a week in some cases. So if you're looking for a cheaper kind of accommodation, I'd definitely recommend off campus. But if you're looking to be in it's not exactly, Lancaster isn't a dangerous place. In fact, it's probably one of the safer university cities in the country. So I don't think there's that big an issue of living off campus. But on campus is, if you're feeling like you really want to be secure and it's a decent quality, I think no one can argue that. It's won a few awards for that. But I definitely think there's not really a difference. It just depends on who you are and what you're looking for.
And this year, some freshers actually ended up living in town. What would you say to people who are in that situation, to how to get involved in uni and still make the most of their first year?
Yeah, I think it was a really upsetting situation actually, and I think on the university side it wasn't handled in the best manner. We really wish that the students who thought they were going to live on campus and really kind of should be living on campus didn't end up living there. And luckily, as a union, we tried our best to give them as many provisions as they could. So free bus pass they've got this year. They've got plenty of university staff making sure that they're actually okay, because the benefit of living on campus in your first year is it's a big step, and it's hard enough coming into a new place, but knowing that you've got that extra security of being on campus with people who are in very similar situations to you is an added benefit. And those living off campus don't particularly have the same experience, especially during Freshers Week. But we've tried to make sure that those students who are off campus, they've been allocated to a college. The JCR really tried to help them out, got them involved in all the events that were going on, and there's even a dedicated staff member who's been going around and making sure that they're okay during the time there. So hopefully they're still getting a good experience out of it. And in fact, we've actually heard from actually quite a majority of them that they're quite enjoying it off campus.
Really?
So it's been quite nice. There's a few people who weren't particularly happy about it when they got here, but I think they've warmed to it. So thankfully, I think due to the provisions of the colleges who really pushed it and made sure that they got involved, it's actually turned out quite all right.
Yeah. Do you know if there's anything in place to stop that situation happening next year?
Yeah, myself and the president, Joel Pullen, are currently working with the university to make sure that they're not. The main thing is they're not making promises to students that they can't particularly keep. And even though arguably they weren't making a promise saying that they could live on campus, I think it was almost expected that these students were going to get a place on campus. And when they didn't, it was quite upsetting for them. So I think what myself and Joel are looking for is a strategy going forward for the university that looks at how they can provide students with the best student experience in their first year, if they're living on campus or if they're living off campus, because we are growing as a university. We took in more students than we ever did this year, so I'm expecting the same next year. It'll grow and grow. So the university are going to have to obviously look at how they can accommodate that, especially for first years. So I think we're just entering discussions now and making sure that that's all being done with students in mind, and making sure that students are getting the best out of that. Not only their experience but financially, because we want students coming here not to be expecting to have to pay over £100 a week just because they're living on campus in their first years. So I think there's a lot to be discussed.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much for joining us, Tom. But now, perhaps more importantly for some students than where they're living, the recently debated sugar house pricing. Joanna went around campus to see what you guys thought about it.
Start of a new term in sugar, and with the Carlton reopening and Lost closed, Sugar introducing loads of new DJ acts. but they've also introduced an early bird ticket system. So what do our students think about it? What do you think about the price hike in sugar?
Well, I haven't been since they've upped the price because it's too expensive for the student club to be the most expensive club to get into.
I think like if they're going to have it that high, then they need to think more about the students with the price of drinks and like how quickly you can get a drink at the bar.
Yeah, we've been going quite well, haven't we? So we're always used to paying like, you know, £3 having the £3 already, but now if it's going up to £6, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go as much, to be honest.
I think it's stupid. Just because they haven't got as much competition as they used to, I think they can charge what they want. But now that Carlton's reopened, I think that'll change that, so that's good.
I think like a lot of people now are sort of going to go elsewhere other than sugar. I think that might have sort of an effect because, I don't know, I think, well for me anyway, I wouldn't always on a Friday night want to pay that much for just getting in somewhere.
What do you think about having to pay for the cloakroom, which is quite abnormal in a student nightclub?
Yeah, I think especially in Lancaster when it rains a lot and it's freezing, it's not the best idea. I remember last year when it was snowing, they had one night and like, oh, free cloakroom tonight, and everyone's like, yay, but generally I think it should just be free really, there's no harm in it.
Yeah, I don't think there should be, well, if there's going to be a charge it shouldn't be high, because a cloakroom really is a necessity, especially if it's raining and this bad weather.
It's a really good idea for winter, of course, because I always take a car out in winter, but then I suppose they've got to get the money from somewhere, so that's where they're going to get the money in the winter, because everyone's bringing their coats.
I don't think, if you pay to get in, like £5 or whatever, then I don't think you should have to pay for cloakroom as well.
What do you think about the lack of drinks deals?
Yeah, it's absolute rubbish.
I think if they did have deals on drinks, then it might be worth paying, say if you did have to pay the £6 to get in, or the £5 to get in, whatever it is, then it might be worth it, but they're just cheap now.
Well, the early bird ticket is a bit of a pain because I like to just go out spontaneously and not kind of plan when I've got to go out, so it's kind of stopping me going out a bit, and I'm taking my business to Elements.
I mean, it might be a good idea. I'm kind of not bought it out of principle.
Yeah. A lot of people think that like people don't plan to go out, they just do. So buying a ticket like a day in advance to go to Sugar before 11:30 seems a bit silly.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
After student feedback, Lucy decided to reverse the decision to increase the prices. The prices have returned to normal, but with the e-ticketing system and queue jump.
Now we're going to go on to the film review section of our episode. And this week it's all about Elysium, which is being shown in LU Cinema on Saturday of week 8. Now, Katie's gone to have a little look at the film and she's going to be here in a minute to review it for us. But first, let's have a look at the trailer.
Ah, hello, madam. To Elysium.
Whoever has this has the power to override their whole system.
Hey, bring down the bone saw!
This ain't gonna kill me. You can save everyone.
We're gonna break into the most heavily guarded place in the universe.
Oh, yeah.
So, Katie, tell us about Elysium.
Well, it's Matt Damon's latest film, so people sort of know the name from the Bourne series. He's known for action films anyway. But it's basically one of the typical, it's quite a boy film, sci-fi, out to save the world kind of film. A lot of action, a lot of explosions, that kind of thing. So, quite good. Although, it's one of those films where not very much happens, and then it all happens at once.
Okay.
So you sort of have to brace yourself to get through the slow bit to hit the action. And then I did find myself struggling to keep up a little bit. But maybe that's just because I'm not used to a boy film. But it's got quite an interesting storyline, the idea of like split worlds and obviously this privileged versus the normal people type thing. So playing on a lot of like society's issues and all that. I'm not going to go into too much detail because it'll ruin the film. Yeah, don't want to spoil it for anyone. But yeah, obviously Matt Damon, a little bit of eye candy if you're a girl and you're being dragged along by your friends. So it's always something to look at. It's definitely interesting, but quite hard to keep up with. So you don't want to be going to see it just because it's there. It's worth looking at if you're interested in that kind of film, rather than just as a film to go and see.
Is it a film you'd watch over and over again then? Or not?
I don't think I would personally.
Okay.
It wasn't so much to my taste, but I know people that have really enjoyed it. So potentially, maybe. But I think once you know what happens, it does sort of lose its excitement because you're not on the edge of your seat anymore.
Yeah.
But if that's your kind of film, then definitely.
Absolutely. Now, don't tell us what the ending is, but the ending, positive ending, bad ending, do we like it or not?
It's very cliched.
Okay.
So it does fit a few stereotypical like movie tropes.
Right.
But it still does tug on the heartstrings. So I suppose it's good for purpose, definitely.
Yeah. It does the job it's meant to do.
Yeah,
even
definitely.
if it's a little predictable.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
It definitely fits with the storyline. It's not like they've just pulled it out and gone, oh, let's finish the film with this. At least it like
What can we
fits in.
do?
Yeah. So it's not designed for shock tactic. It does fit. So it's quite good in that sense.
So rating out of 10.
Yeah.
See, personal rating would probably be like a 5 because I really didn't enjoy it, but actual quality of the film would probably be a 7 because I could see why people would enjoy it.
Okay.
Cool. Well, thanks ever so much. I've never seen the film. Don't know anything about action films.
Go see it at LA Cinema.
Yeah. Week 8 on Saturday, guys. Come on, let's go. But Katie, you also did our Spotlight on Society feature, didn't you?
Yeah.
Fantastic. On the ball you are. But we're going to have a little look at that now. And thanks again for joining us, Katie.
You're welcome. I'm stood here now with Theo, the president of Sago Society. So, Theo, what exactly is Sago?
Sago is the Student Scout and Guide organisation. So there's loads of us all over different universities in the UK, and we're the local branch at Lancaster University. So there's one in Bath, Sheffield, Loughborough, anywhere there's a Sago almost.
Oh, that's cool. So it sort of like connects everyone across everywhere.
Yeah. It's a big network. Every term there's a rally and all the Sagos descend on one campsite somewhere, and there's about 200 odd students from all over the UK. It's an amazing experience.
That's really cool. Can I ask you some questions in general about your society?
Yeah, that's fine.
How long have you been in scouting and guiding in general?
I've been in guiding since I was 4 and I'm 19 now, so quite a while.
That's maths I'm not going to try and do. So, and what made you want to join Sago when you first came to you? Did you join it straight away? Or?
Yeah, I joined it straight away, mainly because one of my guide leaders half bullied me into it, and then I ended up on the exec, so it can't have been that bad.
So it must have done something right then.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So what are you guys doing?
Well, this is our mascot. Yeah, he's our Sago mascot, Lancaster Sago mascot.
So
he's called
cute.
Tim, and we are making mini Tims today.
Oh, that's cute. I like that. That's really cute.
This is one someone made earlier. This is last year, and so we're making different ones this year.
That's cool. And what kind of stuff are you looking forward to this year, or have you not got anything planned yet?
Well, we're doing this weekend. We're going camping, and we're going to Alton Towers on Saturday, and there's fireworks there, which should be even better.
That's really cool.
So yeah.
Okay, well, thank you. We'll let you get back to your mini Tims.
Thanks.
So, what's your name?
It's Tim.
And what's your role within the society?
I'm the club mascot, and I love it.
And what does being a mascot involve exactly?
Well, I go to all the rallies, and it's great fun. I get to be passed around all the members. I get to go around the members' houses, see how they live. Classic students, everything like that.
And so, what's your favourite thing about Sago?
The people. It's got to be the people. Primarily the girls. I do love the girls.
That's good to know. And are you hoping to make it onto the exec one year?
I would love to, actually. I've been trying for the past 14 years and no one has let me in yet. Maybe 15th year is my lucky year.
Maybe a TV appearance will enhance your chances.
Hopefully, yes. Or smear campaigns, we don't know.
Well, thank you for talking with us, Tim.
Thank you very much.
So, what are you probably most looking forward to this year for Sago? Have you got any crazy, exciting plans?
I'm probably most looking forward to Freshers Camp this weekend at the moment. In long term, maybe a big scout event, which is in long term planning.
Oh, cool.
I'm
Tell
trying
us a
to
bit more
think
about the Freshers Camp then.
Freshers
What have you
Camp
got in store for them all?
is going to be Alton Towers. We're going to go down to a campsite down around Stoke area, and then we're going to go to Alton Towers for the day. Apparently they've got a big fireworks display on the day, so
Oh, wow.
completely by chance.
Oh, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
So on a bit of a different note, can anyone get involved with Sago? Do you have to have been a scout or guide back home?
No, everyone is welcome in Sago.
Oh, that's
It's
cool.
all cool, all comers, and just join us. Awesome society. Just make loads of friends. It's one of the few places where literally everyone I've met has been an instant friend.
Oh, cool.
It's such a good society.
So give us some selling points. Why should people join?
New social every week, so we're always doing something different, never the same thing. Of course, it's standard stuff like bar crawls, pubs, but we're always doing new stuff. And also friendship, awesome friendship, adventure. We do that. We do go on camps. We do fun stuff. We do campfires, cooking on fires. Shooting things, archery, you name it. We've done it at some point.
So a lot of activities then, and a lot
Yes.
of just general good fun.
Yes.
Wicked.
Lots of fun.
There you go, folks. If you want to be taking trips to Alton Towers, seeing fireworks displays, going on rallies, making Tims, as we heard from Becky, then you know the place to come. Thank you very much, Theo.
Thank you.
That's all we've got time for today, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to leave you with some footage of the remembrance service held in Alex Square on Armistice Day, featuring the 2-minute silence and led by the University Brass Band Society.
Thank you for watching, and make sure to check in next time for our Christmas special. Bye.
Bye.